Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia, the Preacha. Okay. So this live will be short and sweet, very short and sweet. But for some reason, I attract a lot of truckers in my world, in my life. Whenever I try to have a little bit of a life, somehow a bunch of truckers end up on my path. Guess it's the lizard in me or something. Who knows? So anyway, um, a little. I mean, without much detail and all, this little white boy, not a regular type of white boy, and I don't even know if he's from Denmark. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I don't be, paying that close attention to folks. But this young man, probably in the age range of 20s, you know, in my community at large, in my community at large, someone that I can run into on occasion, kind of thing. Someone that could notice me, but I definitely, would notice him. I would definitely notice him, and he could possibly notice me. I'll just put it that kind of way. Nonetheless, when I'm not, expecting anything in life, just breathing at this point. You know, ooh, mm, the air is pretty crisp up north right about now. We value every smoky breath here right about now. Um, he gave me a few items, just I'm that kind of girl. I like to receive things from people. And some things can be random as toilet paper, you know what I mean? It's just interesting. There are more givers than receivers. It really is. People will just give you stuff off their body. You know what I mean? Stuff off their body. But even if it's like a bracelet or an earring, they just wanna share a thing, you know, some type of hope or connection or okay, I'm getting too deep. Anyway, so, before he decided to travel, I would imagine at random perhaps, um, he just gave me some items, just a couple of items, just some random items. I'm like, "Oh, wow, thank you, absolutely, yes, yeah, thank you, wow, you need help, you know, you need help giving these things to me, yes." He's like, "Oh, no, I got it," so but long story short, anybody from Denmark in the house? Hi. I don't know if you're from Denmark or not, but I have a commenter. Hello. Oh my, please click like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to my friends. But, so I have this little white boyfriend here, not like in that way, guys. So, get your mind together. But this little white boy is going to be traveling out to Denmark. I don't know if he's from there or not. I really don't care about all that. But he's someone that touched my heart before he's leaving out for Denmark. So I don't know anything about Denmark, but I care now about you because little white boy from my community is traveling out that way. And, he looked like he could probably use some friends. And if anybody out in Denmark, mess with any hair on his head, I will be out there. I'm just saying. So if we got some bros out there that can, just keep an eye on this little white boy and make sure he is okay, just hoot your horn. Keep your girl updated on what's going on so I don't have to come out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, fro to fro, it don't matter where we go. Fro to fro, it don't matter where we go. We look out for each other, one way or another. So this little white boy gonna be traveling out there. I don't know much about him, but don't take much to know, when you know. He was nice to me, you know. It don't matter how old you are, what color you are, and all of that. When someone's kind, they're just kind. But you don't have to violate each other. Don't use kindness as an excuse to break the rules, to break laws and cross lines and boundaries. Still show some respect and decency and boundaries about yourself. I don't care where you at. Stand up, sit down, roll, crawl, do whatever you got to do. If you're breathing, blink, breathe a little extra hard or something. Wiggle your toes if you got them. It's not much left in this world, but if you're still breathing, you can do something if you're still breathing. Whatever that something is, do that shit. Do it right now. If you're breathing, do whatever it is that God is telling you to do, calling you to do. And if right now, if you in Denmark and you got an afro, you look out for this little white boy traveling out there because he was kind to me. I remember back about 10 years ago, um, my ex-husband and I were traveling to the Poconos. Yeah, the Poconos trip where I was standing in a champagne glass. Okay. Y'all know that 7-foot champagne glass at the Poconos. But anyway, so it was a road trip for us. And, back then I had a large following, and a part of my following at that time, as Dr. Alicia the Preacher was first coming out, but I had to just quickly shut it down. As fast as she went up, she was right back down. Some people just don't want to see you shine, and that's sad. Again, shout out to Denmark. Denmark, my Afro bros in Denmark. Your girl, love you all the way from the USA. I don't know much about out there, but if anybody mess with this white boy, they gonna have to I'm gonna have to catch a flight. I'm just saying. I'm gonna be coming out there. Yeah, yeah. So truckers in Denmark, truckers, any bros, any Afro bros, United States of America and Denmark. I don't know what's going on with Denmark. I'm telling you, I don't know much about it. I just know someone that is kind to me, is traveling out there. And if it be some mess, I'm coming. I'm just saying, but it ain't got to go that far. It's all love right now. It's all love. If you got a truck, just flick your lights on your truck in Denmark. Hey, my Afro bros out in Denmark, I don't know nothing about you out there. But when I was traveling to the Poconos one time, a road trip, um, I would be like, okay, guys, we about like maybe, 50 miles out and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. We're about 50 miles out, from anything decent or something, or they'll be like, "Oh, pull over to so and so." I don't yeah, I'm not a trucker, guys. Why I don't have to be the trucker, do I? No, why do I gotta be the trucker? No, I just need the truckers at that time to let me know where to go eat. And so I had so many like restaurants that were recommended to us and avoid going over here, don't go over there. And so I'm just saying. So he had this little fantasy of visiting Lancaster. Lancaster was some type of TV show he watched. So I was letting the truckers know that, well, okay, we probably gonna be staying, somewhere in Lancaster for this little fantasy situation. Cause see, mine was the Poconos. But he had this little TV show, Lancaster fantasy thing. And so they told us what hotel to stay in. Truckers, just some random truckers on my that's how I'm buck wild like that, y'all. I can just jump in my car. If I got a couple of dollars in my account, I will jump in my car and hit the highway. I'll end up somewhere, with truckers all over the world. Why can't a girl be safe? It just don't make no sense. Okay, so anyway, so we end up in Lancaster at whatever hotel the truckers said, and we end up at this Lancaster related type restaurant. Knowing us, it had to be like um Irish, Irish or Italian, you know. So one of the two. So so we end up, being told where to stay and eat and everything, just, based off of the regular truckers that were following me at that time. And we had a wonderful road trip, there and back. And like everybody know that lives the hood life, once you come back, everybody, is back to normal. Police called and somebody kicked in the door here and made a hole in the wall, all this kind of crazy stuff. So everything was back to normal on the way back home. So, but yeah, I'm just trying to, find out more about Denmark at this point, just because someone was nice to me, is traveling out that way. And I just want them to know that, hey, I got their back. They had my back when I didn't know I needed one at the moment, but they had it. I was like, oh, wow. I'm not really used to that. You know what I mean? I mean, like, you know how, like, when you were dealing with a bunch of sneak attacks? I can deal with the sneak attack. I'm like used to that. But when you have a kindness attack out of nowhere, a kindness attack, like, wait, hold up. Somebody just nice out of nowhere for no good reason. Er, mm, mm. Okay, well, all right. I see that play that's being. I mean, life is always about, some type of play being made, whether good or bad, pros, cons, you gotta stay balanced, you know. You gotta stay balanced. Can't let your good side of you nor the bad side of you overtake either side. Who can afford to stay off balance? So again, I ain't trying to make this all about me. It's really hard to do that on my channel, but I'm trying not to make it all about me. It's about this white boy traveling out to Denmark. He was nice to me before he left here. I don't even know if he was, based on the way he talked, he is not like a regular type of, he ain't no, country American white boy. He ain't no country American white boy. He ain't that. So, and he got this little fancy, accent and everything, and very slender, well trained. I don't know. He's something. There's something different about him. I just never got to ever talk to him or meet him or anything until the day he announced to me that he was leaving for Denmark. And I, you know, I just don't gather recorded information like that anymore. If we're in conversation, I can remember what you're saying to me in conversation. So, but I just know he's traveling and he was nice to me. And, I just wish him ever would. I like to travel. Give me a reason to come to Denmark. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just want him to be safe. I don't even know his name or who he is, but I'm paying attention. I'm watching. I'm listening. Kindness goes a long way. Mhm. All right, so shout out to Denmark. Let me see if I can read this comment real quick. It says, I can't remember anything. Okay, shout out to the long comment I got. Thank you. I appreciate it. I can't really read it that well right now, but I do appreciate it because it's like dark in my room. And I really don't know how to read in the dark that well. With my 56-year-old eyes, they're getting dimmer over time. But click like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. And again, shout out to Denmark. I'm going to learn more about that place. I don't even know if I should call it a country, a continent. I don't even know what to call it. But whatever Denmark is, I'm going to learn more about it because someone is traveling there that was kind to me. And I want to make sure that if I got anybody that is from my tribe over there, look out for that one. I'm just saying, you know how we are. We know how we are in my tribe. I ain't gotta explain what's understood. Look out for that one. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Peace out. Peace out. Love y'all. Bye.